Welcome to the High Value Sales Show of Eversprint.com. I'm Malcolm Louie, the managing member of Eversprint, and today we're speaking with Germán Garcia-Fresco, the owner of Xtreme Park Adventures, an extreme sports amusement park. Welcome to the call, Germán.
Thank you, Malcolm. I'm glad to be here.
Germán, you grew your company's revenue from $512,000 in 2014 to $2.1 million in 2017, a 310% increase, and in 2018, you hit around 2.4 million. Before we talk about how you grew your company so fast, can you briefly share what your company does beyond my very quick intro and discuss how your company differs from the competition?
Sure. So like you mentioned it's an outdoor extreme sports company. We have paintball, laser tag, we have escape rooms, we have ropes course, we have a Halloween event, haunted houses. So it's like we have about 9-10 different activities that we do there. And it's for all ages, basically anywhere between 3 years old all the way to, you could be 99. And it's year round. We're only closed 2 days out of the year. So anybody can come, all age groups, all types of groups. We do a lot of birthday parties. We do a lot of corporate outings. We do a lot of team building. So it's a great overall facility for anybody wanting to do anything fun in that area.
Now, open to the public, or is it just for corporates to use your facilities?
Both. So you can reserve it as a group, but as a corporate group. I have companies that bring 100, 150 people, and they reserve, the day with us, and we tailor to them, and, from activities to catering to video to anything they need, photography. And it's also open to the public. It's also open to the public. Usually on the weekends, we get a lot more open public people, and during the week, we get a lot more corporate type groups.
Now, your amusement park is located in Durham, North Carolina?
Yes.
And now I'm talking to you now in San Diego, so you must have a fantastic team that's taking care of everything for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. That's one of the key things. I'm more of a serial entrepreneur. I own 4 different companies. That's one of them, and I couldn't own 4 if I didn't have the right people in place for them to run things while I'm doing other stuff and figuring out what to do next.
Now, I assume if this company had required your time and effort to run it, you probably wouldn't own this company?
Yeah, I would have to be there. If I had to manage the company on a daily basis, I would have to be in North Carolina and just live there and go 9 to 5 like everybody else.
Right. So you structured all your businesses so that it allow you to not be there.
Yes, it's one of our secrets. Well, it's not really a secret, but it's one of the things we do. A lot of people do ask me that. It's like, how do you manage all these companies? And the answer is you got to have key employees to manage it.
Yeah. Now, you said you have 4 businesses. Where are they located?
So I have 2 in North Carolina, and I have 2 you could say are here in California. One of them is online, so you could say that anywhere.
Right.
But I manage it from California.
That's very cool. You have the dream.
Yeah. I do. I've achieved independence, which many years ago, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, being free to run your businesses from anywhere in the world, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I can wake up at whatever time I want. I go wherever I want. I take vacations whenever I want. The only things that stop me from taking vacations or doing certain things is my kids, because they have to follow the regular school schedule.
Yeah. I've actually thought about homeschooling our kids.
So me and my wife has thought about that many times as well. And we might do it not too far from now. Right now they're still little. It's okay. But once they get into that age where I think school peers can become somewhat of a bad influence, we might just start homeschooling them.
Yeah. And I mean, quite literally, I really, I haven't studied this fully, but I really think that you can learn anything that you need to learn, follow any curriculum you want. You can get it all from the internet.
Yes. That's I made a video not too long ago on the 8 reasons why the education system is failing us. And one of the points is exactly that, is that I think schools now need to switch from just teaching facts, because you can get that online. If a kid wants to learn anything, they go online and learn it. You don't need a teacher to tell you exactly what you can find online. Not only that, they'll find much fun ways to learn it. They'll see a video with animations, with interactive, with click here, click there to learn something. I think teachers today need to be more of a guidance person, right? Somebody to guide them through the right path more than teach them material. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally. And get them over the hump, right? If they're just not getting it from what they're watching on YouTube, have something to push them over.
100%.
So my next question for you is how you grew your business so fast. And I think you already answered one of the drivers, having the right people. Would you say that's the number one driver of your success?
No. For my industry, for that company's industry, the entertainment industry, and I do a lot of speaking now on conferences that are related to my industry. I go to every show, Halloween shows, paintball shows, any trade show you can think of in the amusement park industry. I'm there, and right now I've been invited to almost all of them to speak. And one of the things I tell people is the being able to adapt was one of the first things. And I'll give you an example. So when we started, the company was called Xtreme Combat, right? And the name, as it suggests, is like a combat type place. And we only did paintball and airsoft. And for those of you who don't know what airsoft is, it's kind of like paintball, but instead of shooting paintballs, you shoot little white pellets. It's a little more realistic, militarily speaking. But so we were Xtreme Combat. What happened was I noticed that I wasn't getting in a lot of birthday parties. I wasn't getting a lot of corporate. And I started wondering why. And the reason why was because my park looked very military-ish. It was Xtreme Combat. All my website was designed to look military. Our uniforms, everything was very military, which tailored to a certain group of people. All these guys that were like me, which I got into it because I used to be a player myself, and it tailored them. But I'm like, I'm missing a big portion of the pie. I'm only getting these guys anywhere between 15, 16, all the way to like 30, and that's it. So we're like, we need to adapt. And that's why in 2014, I switched the name and I went from Xtreme Combat to Xtreme Park Adventures. And we changed the logo, we changed the colors, we changed the website, we changed the message to make it more of a family-friendly type. And it changed everything. The number of parties increased greatly. Moms started feeling more comfortable. Because what was happening is a mom would go to the website and she'll look at 2 different paintball places. She'll look at mine, she'll look at my competition, and mine looked intimidating. That's all it was, right? It was intimidating for them. So when we switched to this Xtreme Park Adventures with more lively colors of oranges and reds and yellows and greens versus the black military gray, it really changed. So that was one key factor that we did that changed a lot. The other, I would say, number 2, if not number 1, was I was able to diversify. So I started with paintball. If I was today, so for example, last year, paintball made about $700,000 out of my whole business. If I stayed as just a paintball park, last year I would have made $700,000, which is great. I mean, the profit margins on paintball are pretty high, but I wouldn't have made $2+ million. And the reason why we made $2+ million is because we started adding other activities. The guy that plays paintball not necessarily is going to want to go do zip lines. Same as I'm getting a lot of older people that want to do their bucket list. You know what I mean? It's like in their bucket list, like, oh, I've never done zip lining. So they come and do it. And those older people, 65 plus, are not going to come and play paintball. Never. Very unlikely. It's not on their bucket list. So by diversifying, by adding different activities, we were able to increase revenue from all over the place. Because I own the land. I eventually bought the land, and I own all the facilities. So me and my partner were like, we paid for all this stuff. If we add stuff, it's paid for. It's not like we have to pay extra rent or anything like that. Yeah, we have to make the investment to create the zipline towers and to create the different areas. But it created this it opened up for a lot of different people, different ages to come. And not only that, now when people come and do an activity, that there's a lot of cross promotion between my activities. You have to think that there's companies that are just paintball parks. There's companies that just do escape rooms. There's companies that just do laser tag. There's companies that just do Halloween events. We're doing it all in one. So when somebody comes and does, let's say, our Halloween event on October, when they're leaving, we give them flyers or documentation about, hey, we also do paintball and we do escape rooms and we have people coming to do different activities all the time. Or they come and do 2 or 3 activities in one day versus I'm going to go play paintball at a paintball park and that's all I can do. Now they come play paintball for a couple hours, then they're like, let's do the rope scores and let's do an escape room for an hour. And that created a lot of, upsells, you can say, or cross sales between the park. And I think that was the biggest key to our success, was the diversification of activities that we have.
Okay. So number 1, diversification of activities. Number 2, being able to adapt. Is there a number 3?
Oh, there's you could say there's plenty. Customer service was extremely important for us. So we really focus on the customer being happy. I don't care what it takes. I mean, I've given free birthday parties that are like $1,000 worth just to get somebody happy, or just to get them to exchange, a 5-star review. It's incredible when you change everything. The other thing within customer satisfaction is we also changed the look and feel. Have you ever been to a paintball park?
Never, actually.
Never. Okay, so you don't have a point of reference. But if you go to any paintball park, most of them are kind of raggedy. They're kind of dirty, and I don't mean dirty in a bad way, like there's trash. But it's a lot of mud and dirt and places to hide behind. And usually they don't have bathrooms, and usually there's not a place to eat. A lot of them are from, they service you from a trailer. They just, up and run, very simple. We realized in 2015-16 that our biggest customer in our park was moms, right? Other than corporate America. And moms love to have a bathroom, love to have a place to sit down and chill while their kids are playing around. Love to have, we give them complimentary wine, which I've never seen done anywhere, which to me is crazy. There's so many things that we do that I'm like, why hasn't anybody done what we do? Even competition. When we started, I used to go to every single competitor to see what they do right and what they do wrong. Anything they did right, I came back and copied. So I would say number 3 is imitate the competition. Don't steal their ideas in a way that, plagiarizing, like don't copy their logos and steal their photos. But I'm saying if they have an idea, if they have a system that's working and you see that it's working for them and you're happy when you're there testing it out, implement it yourself. One of my first inspirations was I went to a paintball trade show, and we did a tour at a paintball park that's one of the best paintball parks in the Washington, D.C. area. And I remember I'm like, I need to copy this guy. And I had nothing at that time. We had started with a 12 by 12 square foot little building. That's all I had. That's all my park started with. I started, just so you know, I started with less than $5,000, that business. And when I went to his park, I was like, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. And I took notes of everything he did. And at that time, I didn't have the money to invest to create what he created. But little bit, as soon as I could, I said, okay, we're implementing this little thing that he did. We're implementing this thing. We're implementing this thing. And within a few years, I had a park very similar to him. And today I can tell you, not because it's my park, but we surpassed his park, but like we're just so much better because I grabbed all these good ideas from all these parks and all these places. I've been to, have you done an escape room?
No, I haven't done that either.
I haven't done an escape room either. I need to bring you down to my park so you can try everything.
It sounds like, yeah, do it all in one day and have some wine.
I've been to over 30, 40 escape rooms. And when I created my escape room, again, I was like, I need to grab all the things that I loved about the escape rooms I went to and make it into one. And all the things I hated or that frustrated me, I'm going to eliminate. And that's what we did. And that's what we do with everything at our park. So you can say point number 3 is study your competition to see what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong too, because you want to avoid things that are wrong. Like when you go somewhere and you say, hey, I didn't feel happy, or they made me feel like one time I went shopping this is before I even owned a park or anything. I went shopping for a paintball gun and the guy treated me like a total retard. Like I didn't know anything. So I went there for him to teach me about paintball and what should I buy. And I felt so bad when I left there. Like I actually didn't buy anything because he made me feel like really dumb, like for not knowing anything. And I remember when I opened my park, I said I have to avoid that 100% and make people feel welcome. Like when they come and ask questions, it's like I answer thoroughly. I don't care if they buy from me or not. But when you treat customers right, they come back. They say, I'd rather spend an extra $10, $20 with you because you treated me correctly and you took your time than with this guy that treated me, like I'm nobody.
Yep. Yeah. People always remember the experiences that are either very good or very bad, right?
Yep. 100%. I just had a customer a few weeks ago. I was down in North Carolina and he needed a gun. He came in to buy a gun for his son. He had no idea about anything. And he had all these prices already. He knew what the prices were. And they were, if you buy online, a lot of the equipment, it's cheaper, right? I can't compete with that because they buy in bulk numbers and I just can't compete. But he ended up buying everything from us because he's like, you guys made me feel so good. And he said it. He wrote us a review, how great we were. And it's great. We love that. Yeah. And that's what we teach our managers and our employees. The minute I hear something like a customer or an employee treated somebody badly, I get involved immediately.
Right.
Obviously, my managers handle everything, but I get involved. I'm like, I want to know exactly what happened, get to the bottom of it. That's when I really get involved because that one usually, and unfortunately, and I'm a neuroscientist, so I understand how we think and how the brain works. And one of the things that it's effect is when you're angry, you're going to tell 10 people. It's kind of like, don't go there or this place sucks, right? Yep. When you're happy, you don't necessarily tell everybody. People write more reviews when they're angry than when they're happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody's angry, I have to catch them, right? I have to catch them and say, what happened? How can we help you? And 99% of the time, we actually fix it. But there's always, the customer that no matter what you do, can't be happy. And those that can't do anything about it.
And you don't want them to come back either.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I totally agree with you. The way the whole review system works and the way the society is, people generally don't say great things about a company unless they really had a truly outstanding experience. But they're much easier, like you said, to leave a negative review if they're unhappy about their experience. So.
Absolutely. I'll give you a fourth point of how we grew, and that is we do a lot of upsells.
Yep.
And believe it or not, the average in several industries are like, 15%, 20% upsells. When you're selling, a lot of stuff, if you're selling $100,000, $200,000 worth of product and you're upselling 20, 30%, that's another $40,000, $50,000. So that's something we do a lot. Not only cross-selling different promote activities, but within the activities we sell a lot of stuff. So if you book your birthday party, we're going to try to sell you a cake, we're going to try to sell you extra paint, we're going to try to sell you smoke grenades, we're going to try to sell you anything, a coverall, whatever that we have available, we will try selling you. And a lot of people buy. And we're not pushy. Don't get me wrong. We're not like, you want to, you need to buy this, you need this, you need this. We don't do that, but we present the options to everybody, and it sells. When you explain to them nicely and you say, hey, we recommend this, or would you like this with that, or this goes great with this. It's kind of like people are like, sure. So upselling also increased our sales greatly.
Right. And it all makes sense too, right? If you have the upsell and enhance their experience and you offer it at a reasonable price, people will go, yeah, I'm only coming out here once in a while. Let's make the most of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like think of zip line. If people go zip lining, they go zip lining. Have you been zip lining?
No.
No. Malcolm, what am I going to do with you?
I'm far from extreme. Open a non-extreme park and I'll be there.
But usually people that do zip lines, they're going to do it once or twice in their lifetime. So it's not, so that business model, it's like you constantly have to get recurring customers. So with those customers, when we try to upsell, and I can't really upsell them anything other than instead of doing 5 zip lines, they do 10 zip lines, so we upsell them that way too. But, and some merchandising, but those people, I try to cross-sell them with other activities. You give them a coupon and say, hey, thank you for coming for zip lining. Here's a 50% off to come and do our ropes course, or here's a 50% off to come and do our escape rooms, right? So it works wonders.
Yep. Are those same day cross sells or coupons for future days? Usually
they have to book them. And no matter what, most of the activities we have in-house, they're kind of exhausting. So after you did, 2-3 hours of paintball, your body's not fit to do a ropes course. We recommend out of that, Maybe you can do an escape room because you're not doing any physical activity, but it is brain consuming. But yeah, it's usually so they can come back. Right.
Oh, that makes sense. It's like kind of like skiing, right? I mean, you can ski half a day and then you just want to just hang out at the chalet and chillax, or not necessarily do more skiing unless you're in a really great shape.
Exactly.
Which most people aren't. Yeah. So let me recap then the 4 drivers then you shared with me. Number 1 is being diversified, having a different activity to appeal to a wider audience. Mm-hmm. Number 2 was being able to adapt. Number 3 was having a fantastic customer service to make sure people have a great experience. And number 4 is just being, opportunistic in terms of upselling, cross-selling to enhance your customer's experience.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, normally I would ask you to go a little bit deeper into each of these 4, but you've gone deep in your explanation. So maybe I can jump to 2019. What are your plans and targets for 2019?
Good question. So 2019, we are finishing up. So we're actually opening a new laser tag arena, dedicated laser tag arena. We don't have the traditional laser tag, which is indoors with a lot of lights, and our laser tag uses like state-of-the-art equipment where you can play outdoors during the day. It doesn't have to be dark. It's a great system that we have. So you can do a lot of tactical laser tag. But we are now, and what we do is we don't mix the players, but we allow the laser tag players to play in the different arenas that paintball and airsoft play. The problem with that is that I can't make it too fancy because the paintballs and the airsoft destroy everything. I mean, you got to think it's an impact. There's ammunition and it impacts and it breaks things. I can't have glass because the BBs or the paintballs will break the glass. So we're creating a laser tag arena now that's dedicated for laser tag, and we're going to add a lot of the technology we learned and use on the escape rooms to create a very immersive laser tag experience, which I've never seen yet. So, and I've been to many laser tag parks, so we're doing something a little different. We're combining 2 different, you can say, technologies into one and see what comes out of that. So that's one of our goals. The other goal that we have, I'm not sure if it's going to be 2019, but we are starting to process the permits for it in 2019, which is a water park addition. So we have a 6 acre lot to our park that we have an option to buy. And if the city approves the water park activity, then we'll buy that piece of land. We have a deal with the owner, and we'll start our water park. And hopefully 2020, 2021, we'll have the water park running.
Very cool. Now, just to let you know, I have played laser tag before. So
okay, good.
So one out of your eight activities I've done, although mine was indoor and it was 20, 30 years ago. So I think the technology was a bit primitive compared to today. So I'm not totally hopeless.
That's good.
Yeah. So tell me about your marketing. How do you attract people to come to your park?
Good question. Marketing is huge. So we've done so many different things, anywhere between radio, TV, newspaper, flyers, promoters, online, Facebook, Insta. We've tried everything. Our number one marketing, to be honest, is word of mouth. So, we are in a small community. The Raleigh area has, about 1 million people within a 50-mile radius. So it's not huge. And most people have heard of us. They haven't heard of every activity we have because some are pretty new, like escape rooms and rope scores we opened in 2018. So that's kind of new. Not everybody knows us because of that, for that, but everybody knows us for paintball and zip lines now and different activities. But word of mouth is number one. In fact, for the first few years, I didn't really market anywhere. I just let people know I'm a big social type, connecting type guy. And I would tell people and people would tell others. And, you have, like, for example, we have 3 major universities around us. We have UNC Chapel Hill, we have NC State, and we have Duke University. Most of their team sports come and do an annual activity. Like all the football clubs come to do an annual activity with us. We have the basketball crews come. We have lacrosse. We have the wrestling teams. We have so many different, and those started because one group came, and then I guess the different groups started hearing about us, and they all started coming. So, but obviously you can't rely on just word of mouth. So the other thing we do heavy is social media stuff. We do post a lot on our social media platforms. So like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, I have a dedicated people doing just that. Every few days, sometimes every day, sometimes every few days, they post things just to keep it active. I have a photographer in-house that he's also my one of my employee trainers, like my referee trainers, my trainer, and he's also a photographer. So he takes pictures almost every weekend, posts them, tags people. That creates a lot of engagement and buzz. And then we do a lot of, obviously, AdWord stuff. So we do Facebook advertisement. We do on Instagram too, and they're shared platforms anyways. So we do that. And then when we have major events like Halloween, we really go out and put some billboards on the streets. We do radio pretty heavily. And it's been working pretty good when we do the radio for the Halloween events. So we do, and a lot of in-house marketing where people come and then they leave and we give them flyers or coupons or whatever to take with them. And the other thing we do is we do a lot of charity. And then I guess when you do charity, we donate a lot of passes and packages for silent auctions. They email me every single week for stuff like that, and I never say no. And I think that creates a lot of word of mouth as well, because when you go to like the school auction and then my name is out there and somebody wins it, then the kids come and they tell their friends. It's a you do good and they do good back in return.
Yeah. And some of your experiences, people do come back for repeat, right? So it's a way to
Oh
get
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
exposed to it who might not have done it unless they want it.
Of course, yeah. And we have annual memberships that we sell, which are very cheap, and just to encourage people to come. You're going to be surprised, but one of my best marketing tricks is Groupon.
Okay.
When I first did Groupon, it tripled my business in 2011. Like literally, I started Groupon and my business went from, I don't remember what I was making in 2011, but let's say it was like $100,000 or 150. We went to like 400,000 or something. It was crazy.
And it's because you introduced your park to a new set of people and they came back, right, after the Groupon deal.
Exactly. And that, and this is something I teach a lot in I do a class where I teach online neuromarketing. So like how to use persuasive techniques to sell online using neuroscience. And one of the things that I tell people, I'm like, Groupon is your best friend. Some people hate it. Some business owners, I give talk to business owners, and they're like, no, I hate Groupon. They're all cheap and this and that. I'm like, no, you guys got it all wrong. First of all, when you do Groupon and I sell one Groupon, I'm actually making money, right? So I make a few, like half of the money that I sell the Groupon. So let's say my Groupon is about $20 and I get 60% of that. So I make $12. My cost for that customer to come and play in my park is about $2 for him to do what I promised in Groupon, right? So it cost me $2, so I make $10. So I get a free customer in my door and it pays me $10. How much do normally an insurance company, a salesman pay for leads to get a customer to even pay attention to them? You're spending a lot of money. Some insurance leads cost $100, $150. Well, Groupon is paying me $10 per lead. The problem is that they don't know what to do with the customer afterwards. So the customer comes, they play with their Groupon, and they leave, and nothing happened. And that's where they make their mistake. I'm like, you got to upsell them. You got to design things so that they spend their Groupon fast enough so they're still hungry for more and they go and buy more. You got to upsell them when they're in the window and they register, and like you tell them, hey, this is what your Groupon gives you, but for this a little more, you can do a lot more and have more fun. And not only that, when they leave, I got their email. What are you going to do with that email? And believe it or not, last year I did a conference at I think it was an escape room conference show. And I did a talk, and I asked people to raise their hands how many people collect email from their customers. And it was less than 5%. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, less than 5% of you are taking people's emails that are walking in your door. That's insane. You're losing leads. They're already hot leads. They came and bought from you. All you have to do is nurture that lead and offer them coupons and send them information. And that's one of the things that a lot of business owners don't realize is most businesses, I would say 95% of businesses in America, they get the customer, they spend the money on the advertisement, the radio, whatever. The customer walks in the door and then they lose them. They don't do anything afterwards. And that's the biggest mistake. And that's the difference between $100,000, $200,000 company versus $1 million company, is what they do with that customer after they came in that door.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I got discussions with a number of businesses as well about continuing to nurture the relationship with clients and customers and prospects after the initial conversation. And some people will say, yeah, I've done email marketing before and it doesn't work, and you just write it off, right? And then in my head, I'm thinking, well, maybe it didn't work because your messaging was all wrong.
Yeah,
and your approach is all wrong more than anything else.
Exactly. It's the message wrong, or they tried one. You don't expect that everybody's going to buy from you again when you send them one email. You gotta keep I say you send emails until they unsubscribe. Period. When they unsubscribe, that means you annoyed them, and that's fine. Maybe he wants to come back, he will. But you got to keep sending emails. And you're 100% right. And that's part of the things that I teach is, how is your message? There's a lot of ways to write titles and things to catch people's curiosity to get them to buy. And most people don't know these things.
Oh, yeah, totally. In fact, I found in the campaigns we've done for clients, for some markets, most markets, people get inundated with messages, and they appreciate very short, to the point messages that don't take them long to digest and respond to. And so in this one other market, short messages did not work. They want a 3-liner that they can say yes or no to. They want the 6-paragraph message that they can consider and digest, right? So, those adjustments can be quite, you have to fit your message to your market.
Exactly. It's like I always tell people, I give the example. Are you going to sell grandma a life insurance policy by telling her go online, register, and fill the form and submit it? Or are you going to sit down with her and fill it with her, right?
Yeah.
You're going to sit down with grandma because she doesn't know how to use the computer.
Or she doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to, exactly. So the way you deliver your message is very important to who you deliver the message. You got to understand your crowd 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So for your 2019 plans, you shared how you're looking to, open a laser park, potentially get plans in place to open a water park. What challenges do you see for you to achieve your goals for 2019?
Well, the challenge for the water park, the challenge is 100%, depending on the government, if they want me to have a water park or not,
Yep.
There might be some law there or my neighbors complaining that they don't want a water park. Who knows? So we won't know until I get my lawyer involved and going into the city and applying for everything and see what they say. So that would be the biggest challenge for the water park.
Okay.
On another goal that I have for 2019 is, probably triple my marketing dollars. For the last few years, I would say in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been spending all our money growing the park, adding activities, building things. We spend millions of dollars. And now we're pretty much done with all the building. And we said, okay, now let's really dump money into marketing dollars and see if we can, take it to $3-4 million level park. I will be at a cap. I think my park, not counting the water park, if I had the water park, that would be another easy $1 million a year revenue with my crowd. But I think I can be capped at $3 to $4 million. I can't imagine doing much more than that. So that's one of the downfalls of having brick and mortar in as a business, right? When you're online, you can sell to the world, and the sky's the limit. When you have a certain demographics, there's only a certain amount of people that are going to show up. So I think if we start putting heavy dollars in the marketing and the advertising, we can start moving our numbers to go that way. And that's going to be the biggest challenge, because I do a lot of the marketing myself, but I'm not the biggest expert on it. So I do hire companies, and I've hired companies in the past that didn't do a good job. Finding that good marketing company that can help us promote and increase our bottom dollar has been my biggest challenge this, past couple of years, I would say. I did find two new companies. I'm trying one starting, actually, we just signed contracts with starting January 1st. We started, so they're creating the plan and everything. Hopefully by the end of next week, they send me what they're going to be doing. And we'll see. They're young guys, very hungry. They're in their 20s, and we'll see what they do. And then I have another company in line if these guys don't do very well, that I'm also ready to, bring on board and see what they can do.
Yeah. What kind of work would the young guys be doing for you?
So these guys, at this point, I gave them 2 tasks, which were to promote my 2 newest activities, which are the rope course and the escape rooms. And they're going to use social media heavily for the promotions. And I don't mean social media by posting, but advertising in social media. So we're creating video campaigns. We're creating a whole branding and fun story, fun advertisement to get people to click and interested. So we'll see if
Okay.
that works.
All right, good. Would you say that you've got a good, for us when we work with our clients, right, we always start with the customer avatar, right? Who are your ideal customers,
Yes.
right? And there might be more than one category. Do you have a pretty firm grip on that? And these young guys are going to be in individual campaigns targeting each of the avatars?
Yes. So our ideal customer used to be, when I was Extreme Combat, my ideal customer was a guy like me, young, hungry to play, to have fun, do something sporty. I told you, I realized that mom was the real, money spender, you could say, or the person that will spend their money for their birthday party. So my ideal customer today are two. Is the mom that's trying to celebrate their kid's birthday at our park, and the other one is the corporate America, the corporate group that wants to come and have fun and team building with their team and bond together. So those are my two main targets, you can say.
Okay. And are there striations within those two groups that are interesting to you?
What do you mean by striations?
Moms with one kid, mom with four kids, married moms, divorced moms, working moms.
No. So our target is basically moms and birthdays. So like moms that are looking for their kids to celebrate their birthday.
Okay.
Pretty much. So it could be a single mom, or it could be a mom with 5 kids. If it's a mom with 5 kids, great, because then three of the kids end up doing their birthday at our park. And that happens.
Right.
You know what happens a lot too is one kid does their birthday, and then we have another 5, 6, 7 birthday parties from that same classroom because they loved it. And they're like, Mom, I want to do a birthday party there too. I want, and that's when I was telling you, a lot of word of mouth happens because of that. And that only happens when that mom is happy and all the kids are happy, because then they go home and the moms talk between each other. And, all the moms hang out because mom brought the kids and they're waiting for that hour or 2 hours to pass by. So all the moms are hanging out. And if the mom is happy, the initial mom, she'll tell them. She'll say, oh, this is awesome. I don't have to do anything. Take care of everything. And so the next mom goes, oh, maybe I'll do my birthday party next month here. So
right.
So
How about on the corporate America side? I know for sure you have the private companies or even the listed companies, I think the strict corporate America. And then at the same time, you talked about the universities having their teams come out, right? So you have some academic institutions that can use your facility.
Yeah, I consider the academics in the same bag as the corporate America. So you could corporations or groups of people that are trying to do some sort of bonding, building, outing, right? Yep. I call it corporate America, but you could say group building or team building stuff. Most of the in fact, all the university groups that come are for team building. I can't think of any other reason why they come. Sometimes we do get some fraternities just getting together to have fun. They're like, hey, let's go play paintball this weekend. And, a fraternity will bring 30 guys and they'll play for fun, right?
Right.
Not necessarily team building, but for fun. But 95% of the groups that come from universities come just like corporate groups come, And by corporate, I don't mean just IBM and Google. I mean, it could be a restaurant. It could be the tire shop around the corner. It could be the drywall company. Anybody that has a business that wants to bring their employees out, get them all together and have a good time. That's what I call corporate outing.
Right. So for the moms looking to celebrate birthdays, or even other people looking to celebrate their birthdays, and for the corporate America, from the small companies all the way to the big, huge ones, what's the best way for them to contact your firm, your team, your ticket sales office to set something up? Sure.
So obviously our website, which is www.xtremeparkadventures.com. We don't have an E in the front of Xtreme. So it's XTREME. So that's one way so they can find out more information. They can call us at 919-596-6100. Or they can email us at info@xtremeparkadventure.com. And we are pretty quick on the best way is, I believe, phone. We have a dedicated phone person every day. So phone is the easiest. They can ask the questions. But we also have an automated system online where you can book. Like we have a lot of parents that they just book their parties online and they don't even talk to us. They know exactly what they want. We have all the options there available for them, and they reserve, and when they get there, we're ready.
Awesome. Convenience is king.
Yeah.
Also, you talked about your science side of your interests and experience in business, and you also have a new book that's recently published. Can you share some details about your new book?
Oh, great. Yeah. So I wrote a book called Train Your Brain for Success, and how a healthy brain is the key to happiness and better health. I truly believe that for anybody to be successful has to have, as obvious as it may sound, you have to have a good brain in order to be successful. There's lots of little things that people don't realize, such as your diet and exercising and emotional control and all these things that you need to take in consideration in order to have a good brain. Because what creates success is the decisions you make in life. And the decisions you make in life are made by your brain. And if your brain is not working properly, then your decisions are going to be wrong, or you're not going to make the right decisions, right? And you're not going to succeed in life. You're not going to achieve your ultimate goal, which is to be happy, right? I'm assuming that everybody's ultimate goal is to be happy.
Yeah, definitely. Can you share again the title of your book and where people can find it?
Sure. The title of the book is Train Your Brain for Success, How a Healthy Brain is the Key to Happiness and Better Health. And you can find it on Amazon.com. We have the Kindle version and the softcover version there, or you can go to drfresco.com, and that's doctor spelled out DOCTORFRESCO.com. And there I also have the hardcover version as well. So you can purchase it through Amazon or through my website directly. And if you want a copy, anybody that wants a copy, just email me and I'll sign it before I send it to you.
Ah, nice. Thanks so much, Herman, for joining us today and sharing how you accelerated your company's high-value sales.
Well, thank you very much, Malcolm, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation as well. We've been speaking with Herman Garcia-Fresco, the owner of Xtreme Park Adventures, about his company's rapid growth. For interviews with other fast-growing, high-value sales companies, or to learn how we can accelerate your firm's high-value sales through automation, visit eversprint.com.